Hi, everybody. Susan Marco here. So, I think I mentioned in a recent video that I was going to be sharing a little bit more about my cancer journey. And so I want to share with you. Now, if you've worked with me before, you've probably heard this story. So if this is repetitive, my apologies. But for those of you that have not heard this story before, it was about 5 years ago. Yes, I'm coming up on the 5-year mark from my diagnosis of breast cancer. And I'm gonna cut to the chase and say, fortunately for me, my story was pretty good. Everything was low. It was early, low grade, low stage, no chemo required. It was a hormonally driven cancer that I had. So, I've been around for a few years, and in my massage practice, I knew lots of women who went through breast cancer and other cancers as well. But, I had some wisdom to draw on because of having been with so many women who had been through this. But at the same time, when you get that information, right? It was a Friday afternoon, I was having a biopsy, and I knew that I wasn't going to get to speak to anybody until Tuesday. So I was very nervous, like I just didn't want to sit through the whole weekend wondering and, just, that feeling of like the unknown and just kind of being left hanging. So the technician who was doing the biopsy for me, he was a lovely man. I mean, it was such a great experience with him. But I asked him, I said, if there's something, I'm very pragmatic about these things. So if there's something that you feel that you can share with me or wish to share with me, I would really appreciate that. And he said, it's not in my scope to diagnose. He said, but by looking at what I'm seeing, I'll be surprised if it comes back that it isn't cancer. And so I said, okay. And I kind of already had an intuition. I had a feeling about it. So we finished up the visit and, whatever. And I got dressed and I went out in my car, and I was sitting in my car, and, that moment of shock kind of came over me, like, oh, shoot, like cancer, like what the hell? And it was only a moment of that feeling. And then I went directly into what I now refer to as my empowerment. So I began asking questions, almost like I was talking to the cancer. So the questions were coming up like one after another, like, okay, what did you come here to show me? What am I going to learn for going through this experience? How am I going to grow? I was probably at that time, I think, a year into my hypnosis practice. And so, the next question was, am I going to work with people who have cancer? Is that why I'm going through this? And then I got even a little deeper and wanted to know, how did I create this? And if I created it, how can I uncreate it? So you kind of get the gist. I went right into asking those resourceful, more empowered questions rather than falling into what I very easily could have gone directly to, how could this happen to me? How could I get cancer? I take such good care of myself. I eat clean. I've been on this holistic track since I'm 25 years old. Like, how could this be me? But it didn't even really occur to me to go there. The first thing that I went into, and I really wanted to know what was in it for me. How am I going to learn? How am I going to grow? And I'll tell you what was really beautiful about it was that my entire journey, as difficult as it can be, was all about that. It was all about being in that empowered place. So that's what I wanted to share with you, and I will definitely drop in and share some more about that. But I just heard the door. I'm at my office. I'm not sure who's coming in, but I'm going to go and see what do I need to address. So anyway, I love you all. Have a wonderful day, and mwah, see you soon.